Any crack over the summer? What's new?
What is new is we had a baby about 12 weeks ago, so that is the new thing in the house. New thing in the house is a terrible way of putting it, but that's the new arrival in the house. So that's all the chat at the moment is babies, babies, babies. But all going well so far. Still finding my feet. Still finding my feet a little bit with it, but enjoying the process and definitely enjoying the learning curve that is fatherhood.
Very good. A boy or a child?
We had a baby girl, Remy.
Lovely, lovely. And I mean, what sort of day-to-day differences have you noticed? I mean, I guess professional rugby players would have been used to having things done their way or working to a very tight schedule. I mean, has it kicked in yet? Are you still running on adrenaline, or are you missing what you ever get your naps or your downtime?
Yeah, it's definitely different. I think it helps you kind of compartmentalize things a little bit and kind of puts in priority, puts in perspective what's a priority in your life really. So I'm definitely trying to find the balance of it all. I love being probably the one big thing for the moment is I love being really early to things. I love being here, 7 o'clock in the morning and just sitting around having coffees, doing my rehab and bits like that. So still trying to find my feet with the kind of morning schedule of having a baby and doing all the bits and helping out my wife before I get going. So some days I can be a little bit on edge first thing in the morning, trying to get in here nice and early, but still trying to do that. So it's definitely a bit of a balance for me. So I'm still learning and still finding my feet. But other than that, it's great when you go home. You can kind of park rugby a bit more. I'm not worrying about training as much or reviewing things. I'll try pick that up on the day off a bit more than doing it in the evening time, which I probably previously would have done. So just makes you realise what's important in life, and you go home and make sure you're present and conscious of how you are around your family and things like that. So it's been great. I'm absolutely loving it now, I must say. But my wife's been fantastic. She's been really calm and patient, and it's definitely helped me being calm, patient with it all. And neither of us are pros, and this is both our first time around. So we're learning together, and we're slowly getting there. We feel like we're doing an all right job. So definitely life is very different this pre-season than it had been previously.
Very good. Just Hugo did an interview recently. Just spoke about not being over the World Cup. Is that something that needs to be addressed on a group level? I mean, I don't know how it affects you, but I mean, we're going back, nearly a full year. It's still something that comes up. I mean, where are you with what happened, 12 months ago?
Yeah, I suppose Hugo's a pretty smart bloke, so he'd probably think about things a lot more than I would, and I'd probably be a bit more dense between the ears than he is. So I wouldn't be dwelling on things too much. Look, I think the World Cup, even bringing it up there, it does bring back obviously difficult memories, and it's always that kind of what could have been or what could have happened mindset about it. But I suppose for Hugo as well, like he's obviously had the added pain of the Olympics and things like that, which was tough for him. And but to credit to him, it was incredible to be able to go to Olympics and be a part of that experience. And it's not something that many rugby players have done, played international rugby at a World Cup and gone to Olympics as well. So it's an incredible achievement and a testament to the athlete and the professional that he is. So, he's obviously had probably that bit more of, not devastation, but that kind of hangover from the Olympics as well. So it's probably definitely all a bit fresher in his mind. But yeah, it's tough. I think any time you lose any big tournament, whether it be with Leinster or Ireland, it never really leaves you. It always kind of lingers in the background a little bit. And that doesn't necessarily need to be a bad thing. You can use that as motivation or inspiration to spur you on and to be better, and it's fuel for your fire as a person and as a collective as well. And I know we've had a lot of adversity over the last few years here in particular, and people might think, oh well, you still haven't won it in a while, but yeah, we have the quality here in the players and the coaching staff that we're going to keep knocking down that door, and it will happen. People just need to trust the process and keep the faith and keep on moving forward and progressing as a team. So it's something that probably never leaves you, but you can use it for the better.
So on to the new season. How is RG? What sort of interactions have you had with him? We saw some pictures of him training there. what's he like to deal with day in, day out?
Yeah, he's a very nice bloke. He's very chilled. Obviously, he's been in kind of rehabbing and stuff the last few weeks, and when you're rehabbing, you're on a bit of a different schedule, so you mightn't get as much time, in the gym and stuff or on the pitch that you would have with other blokes. So, but he seems like a very comfortable soul in himself. He's very chatty. I think he's finding his feet pretty quickly in here, and he seems like he is. He's a good man, and he's obviously a man mountain. And even today, he was getting stuck into a few moles and scrums and everything else. So I think everyone's excited to see what he can do when he gets the opportunity, when he gets fully fit. So he's obviously a player of incredible talent and stature. So it's not something we have too much of in Ireland, men of that size. So I think everyone saw what he could do with Munster and the opportunities he got, and then again with South Africa. So I think lads are excited to have him here, for him to add his value and his experience and to get to know him as well. And I think he's making a good effort with lads and spending the time to connect with people and just get to know people. So it's been great, and he's all the chats and conversations I've had with him, have been very enjoyable. So I'm sure he's going to springboard forward now the next few months when he gets back fit playing and add his value to the team.
Very good. Just the last one from me. Let's talk a lot about leaders in all areas of the group, and everyone's prepared to have their say. But Leo has decided now that two captains is not the way to go for this season. As a player, is it simpler for someone like you just to be dealing with one captain? You can obviously be leading the pack or whatever, but was there any way that it was too confusing to have two co-captains, and maybe that's why Leo decided, let's just give it to Caelan and simplify it?
No, I don't think so, to be honest with you. For my position, I'm not making calls. I'm not a tight head prop who says we should scrum here, the scrum's going really well, or I'm not a hooker who says, my darts are really spot on at the moment, or a goal kicker who thinks they can nail a shot at goal. So for me, it wasn't really anything. Do you know what I mean? I think the two lads are fantastic leaders, both on the pitch and off the pitch, and if we went and won Europe last year, I don't think lads would even be talking about it. I know, obviously there was a bit of speculation about it and a lot of chat about it throughout the year, but we felt as a player group, definitely during the week in training, it lent itself really well, because regardless if you called one a captain and the other as a vice captain, they were both leading anyway, and they were adding their value the whole time. So it wasn't something I gave much thought to. I think it's the lads did a good job last year, and they'll definitely get opportunities throughout the year where they'll be captain again, because so often Gary will be playing or James will be playing and Caelan won't be playing. So one of them will step into that role and do it. So they'll both get their shot at it throughout the year, and I think Caelan's a fantastic choice as captain. Obviously, incredibly influential player, calm, very articulate young man. So he's someone who leads both through his actions and his words. So I think everyone's excited for him to take up that mantle. I think it's something he did a lot throughout the year, both with Leinster and Ireland, and I think it comes naturally to him. So he's got the buy-in and support of all the lads and the coaching staff, and I think it's only the start for him in his kind of role as captain.
Brilliant. Thanks for your time, Jack. All the best for the season.
Thank you.
Hi Jack, how's it going? Michael Bolton here from Break News IE.
Michael, how are we getting on?
Good. First of all, congratulations on becoming a father.
Thank you.
It was probably first summer in a while. You went on a summer tour preparing for a World Cup. Do you feel more fresh coming into the new season that you kind of had that? I know you probably had a lot of sleepless nights becoming a father the first time, but as terms of you weren't training all the time or playing matches in summer with Ireland or Lions, do you feel more fresh coming into the season?
Yeah, I'm not sure if fresh is the right word, but maybe it's a bit sleep deprived. No, it was, look, we had the baby 10 days or 2 days before the first test, so I wasn't in a position where I could have gone. So it was, some things are more important than rugby, so I had to make that call early enough in the season to say, look, I'm take my hat out of the ring for it. I feel fresh. I had a knock a few weeks ago. I picked up a small calf injury at the very start of pre-season, and then I had 4 to 6 weeks of rehabbing and running and getting that right. And I think that has actually been the best thing for me. I was kind of had a bit of a hangover from the World Cup last year of a bit of that foot injury I picked up in the Italy game, and I had a few calf tears throughout the year, which would be very unlike me. So that was probably lingering throughout the season. So it's, even though I got injured, I heard it again, I was able to give it the proper time to properly rectify it and rehab it and get back to strength and performance that I needed. So I think that was, at the time you're cursing yourself thinking, geez, what if I just hadn't run this day, or I, rehab more, or loaded my calves more, that wouldn't have happened. But I think it was the best thing for me, and now I feel great, and that I've kind of completely dealt with that problem that I had lingering out through the season last year. So I think more so because of that, I feel fresh than anything else. Just being given the time to get my body 100% right, and now I can use that as a springboard into the season.
Obviously, last couple of seasons hasn't ended the way yourself and Leinster would have liked, but you've been part of previous squads who were hugely successful in Europe and domestically. Does that feel of know what success is like? Is that a big motivation factor to really get the season right when it comes to this end of the season?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you want to have success with your mates. You want to bring that to the club, and I think because we've done it in the past, and there's a good cohort of lads who would have been there in 2018, especially for Europe, who would have had the pleasure of experience what winning Europe is like. I think it just makes you that bit hungrier. Then obviously after the disappointment of the last few years, I think it just spurs you on, and you want that for the rest of the lads who haven't experienced it. You want like Caelan, as he spoke about, being captain, you want him to be able to lead us to a final and get a win and get a fifth star. So it does make you hungrier, having had taste of it in the previous, and just wanted to get back to that mountaintop of success and performance. So I think it's good to have that mix of experience of the older lads who've done it, and then the younger lads coming through, pushing us on, who are so hungry to have that success themselves, both individually and as a collective.
I spoke there about captains a couple of minutes ago. How good is it for Leinster squad though? There is so many, you look around the team, there is so many leaders you can turn to.
Yeah, it's great. It's a really player-driven group. There's such knowledge and IQ within the changing room of lads who've played 100 odd caps for Ireland, and people who've been captained Ireland before and had great success in green jerseys and been in Leinster for a long time. So I think it takes the pressure off the coaches a little bit, because the lads know how to lead as well. They know how the room is feeling, the group's feeling, and things like that. So you can, some days James and Gary won't speak and Caelan will speak, or Tig will pop up with input or things like that, or Jamo and lads like that. So it's never just the same voice. It's so many lads across the board who are able to give accurate feedback and even help the coaches as well. So we're unbelievably privileged in Leinster to have the experience that we do.
Just lastly, for me, just for the younger players, would you see yourself as someone that can lead at times, and for the younger players to look up to, especially those kind of trying to get into the back row of the team?
Yeah, absolutely. I probably wouldn't be the loudest man in the room, especially when it comes to meetings and things like that. But I tried to bring my own energy, especially in the games. So I was coming off the bench, trying to bring an energy to it. And then I always tell myself that if I'm going to lead, I want to lead through actions and be at the forefront of things. So everyone kind of leads in their own way, and mine might be more through actions than through what I say, or the energy that I bring to the group.